Happy Thursday. I am so excited that you're hopping on live to know about the 2026. I can't believe I'm saying that year, but I am 2026 Women's Elite Entrepreneur Retreat. Try to say that 3 times fast. I'm Connie Kircher. I serve as your Elite Entrepreneur Coach. Again, this info session is really detailed out in 3 different ways. One, to be able to understand the intention, the why I created this retreat several years ago. Also, to give you some kind of housekeeping pieces of what the retreat entails, what the timelines we're looking at in terms of what's included, what the purpose is, who's kind of the ideal business owner to join us this year, and then, of course, next steps. So, if I've never worked with you, spoke with you, networked with you, coached with you, to give you a little bit about of my background, it's really important to know that everything we do at this retreat is intentionally set up for you to shift into more of the CEO skill set. So when you think about how do I elevate my sales, my marketing, my follow-up, my just overall outreach and retention strategies as a business owner, we're going to talk about how you scale those. We're going to strategize, and I'm going to give you some best practices real time this September in those working sessions so that you have an elevated immersive experience. The reason I started this retreat was that, it's great when you get started with some of the remedial or baseline strategies to start your business, how to market, how to get the word out there. But this is really ideal for business owners that have, elevated their brand, their mission, their internal, strategies and systems for about 5 years. Practically at a minimum is kind of what I encourage, so that you have a baseline of confidence, you have a baseline of data to know where and how we need to position your business moving forward, and where we should pull some leverages, where we should position differently, and where we should scale. So just know that this is truly designed. When I say Elite Entrepreneur Retreat, there is not a minimum of how much profit margin you make every year. It's not a minimum of employees or, again, years of business, but I do encourage most attendees to make sure that they have several years under their belt. Again, a lot of data that we can dive into so that we can talk about how to scale your mindset as a business owner and the actual business model itself. So it is intended that these 6 days, 5 nights are immersive. It is for you to be fully, mind, body, spirit present when we're at the retreat and at the all-inclusive resort, so that you can shut it off, right? So the first day, everyone flies in on September 19th. That is a Saturday. And we get kind of just everyone in a welcome dinner, unpack, deload. Everyone has their own private suite at the resort. And that's really your transition day in. And then Sunday by design is that you get a day of spa, and you get a day of, pool time, and you get a day to take a nap if you need to. But it's really designed so that you are able to transition into strategic planning mode when we get started on those sessions on Monday. So I designed that so that, again, you get to know some individuals, you get to tidy up any other loose projects, communications, deliverables you have on your end, and really reset as a person that day, so that your first day on in Monday isn't kind of a reset day for you. So then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the retreat is always about, in the morning sessions, working sessions that we actually will lean into. I will coach you best practices based on the intakes, based on the women that are there, to talk about marketing, sales, and really optimization of how you're going to do that differently, where you need to move from a B2B model, how you need to scale strategically with partnerships, and being able to really look at the data the last couple of years and how you need to hone in some of your products or services, some of your modalities, if you will. And then really your follow-up. How are you going to retain your current book of business and expand from what that story is telling you? So it is meant to be very high level, very strategic, have you ever worked on your business, not in it as the employee, are those morning sessions. And then in the afternoon sessions, I call those deep work sessions, where you're actually creating those email campaigns, or, again, creating the checklist, realigning your calendar for different priorities and tactics or checklists, moving some processes into your CRM system or for the team differently. So it's meant to be zero distractions after lunch, really be able to get some quiet time to work on your business, not be out prospecting, out coaching, out doing the services, out, kind of training the team. It's meant for you to be able to do CEO strategic planning days and practice that for 3 days in a row. Then every evening is a lovely optional experience that you can have dinner with us as a group. If you want to have a one off by yourself, if you want to get room service, you do you. But it's really meant so that you have time to, again, reset and then re strategize. I do one on one coaching throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening. If you want to sit there in the suite with me and we work through some strategies, we work through, some beta testing or what about this or how does this apply specifically to my business? I am there to be of service all of those late afternoons and evenings into dinner to make sure that you have your customized questions completed. That's really important to me that it's not just, at 3 o'clock when we wrap up sessions, it's bon voyage, won't see you again till 6:30 at dinner. I am there to make sure that we roundtable, we flesh anything out that we didn't get to that day so that the next day you're set up for success. And then everyone flies out on the 24th of September. That's a Thursday. Again, I coordinate and my team coordinates every little detail. This is truly white glove service. We take care of your flights, we take care of your transfers from every detail of getting and landing to the Cancun airport to then showing up at the El Cid Ventus Resort. We make sure that you are onboarded and welcomed, and we get you checked in with every little detail of, the passcode and the band and all those things. We are there to make sure that all those bells and whistles are taken care of. And then we take care of all of the details of, because again, it's an all-inclusive resort. You'll have access to whatever food, whatever drink, whatever adventures on site that you want to explore. That is all at your mercy to make sure that you enjoy that immersive experience, hence why it is removed and why it is in a place that is sunny and in a place that you can get in a different headspace than if you were doing this virtually, right? So next steps as you're watching the rest of this, what is and how do I, get to know a little bit more about the 2026 Women's Elite Entrepreneur Retreat? The first step is in this video as you're watching live or if you're watching the recording to put retreat in the comment section. I will send you then a scheduling link for us to get on a 30-minute Zoom call so that we can chat and I can understand your season of business, your season of readiness, what and how I think this positioning of attending a professional development retreat like this would be of service, what you need to prepare for, what would maybe be some gaps so that you are fully making a wise decision and discerning if this is a good fit for you. And I'm also then being able to go, because you're curating with other women that may or may not know each other, making sure that that is a really fruitful and collaborative, community that will come in for those 6 days. And then we then, figure out logistics of payments and investment from there. So really, I want to paint the picture as we close out this, I can't always say like YouTube live, right? Like the YouTube live world is just always like, okay, here we go. We've got some questions. And if you have any of those, put those in those chat as you are watching. The three main questions I always get though is one, how do I know if I'm ready? And I always say, are you at a place where you need to scale? You're becoming the bottleneck for your own business. You have consistent sales, you have consistent marketing plans. You have figured out a couple different, avenues, but it's not, again, in a way that you can rinse and repeat. Not that I want you to be fully removed ever from your business model, but is there a place where you have and could articulate back to me, this is what my business model is. This is what 80% of the time works for us. And I know that this is sustainable for me, myself, the team, my clients. And again, this is where we need to launch a new area. We have some business opportunity here. We need to eliminate maybe some parts of the business that are not making sense in marketplace anymore, but I don't know how to do that or where to start with that. That is your number one question to go, I'm ready to do the next thing, but I don't know and have clarity or support or structure to know what that physically, mentally, technology wise could look like. This is a great time to get really immersed in a week and flesh that out. Second piece is, do I know if this is a fit for me? Is that you are starting to get checked out or disengaged in your own business out of burnout, out of it's getting bored for you, out of, I just kind of don't know. Like I've built this to a point that I don't even know what the next echelon could be, Connie. I love making sure that we invite individuals to attend the retreat because that tipping point of what's the next step, what's the next department, what's the next product or launch or expansion, and you just haven't been able to sit down and do the brain power. That is another wonderful season of readiness to attend this retreat. And then if you're desiring a higher level community, part of the reason again I started elite entrepreneur coaching, just overall, and then definitely dove into the retreats the last 5 years, is things happen differently when you work with the pace, with the caliber, with the mindset of entrepreneurs that are all in, are scaling very, very large, are not afraid to be able to dive into the, deep end at all. And maybe you need some of that community. Maybe that isn't the norm of where you're currently networking or currently locking arms with, and you're like, I need that next group of individuals that no matter where they live, no matter what business they're in, no matter, what their background is, I have, and I don't feel like, man, am I dreaming too big? Am I pushing too fast? Do I want to grow this, thing? Am I kind of out of my mind? You are not. When I created Elite Entrepreneur, it is so that we are normalizing that if you want to have an amazing impact of whatever your passion is, of how you have created your business model, and you're going, other people maybe don't work as fast or are as all in. That is the norm for our community. So I welcome you with open arms that if that is something you are desiring and that has been on your vision board, that has been on your intentions, is to find another group, another solid community of individuals that are very intentional, very strategic, really want to scale and make just a great, great impact at a very high level. This is the retreat for you. So I hope that you've enjoyed this info session. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching live and watching the recording. I will put in the chat, the scheduling link, when you mark retreat in there, to be able to schedule a 30-minute Zoom call with me so we can get to know each other a little bit more, have a meaningful conversation about, again, any other logistics, the investment part, how we break down payment plans. But we have 3 spots left. So that is why we're kicking off 2026 with it is first come, first serve. And again, every single year in September, I activate the Women's Elite Entrepreneur Retreat in Mexico. So even if this year, scheduling wise, budget wise, timing of, products and services is not a fit, still schedule that call, still get on our wait list for 2027, 2028, because it may be then your next season is the right season for you to attend next year. So I love to be able to connect with you again. Thank you for taking the time to understand more about the vision of this really amazing, immersive, high level luxury experience. I love being able to host you all with open arms, white glove, happy to make sure that I'm taking care of all those details so that you can be fully present as a CEO and work through processes and strategies and places that you have gaps and feel stuck in a really supportive, positive community for several days. Magic does happen in those spaces and in those places where we can lock arms and really be thoughtful and not play small and that be the norm. And there's no place of that I've ever attended retreats or professional development or masterminds where I'm able to go as large as I want to, as strategically as I want to, as thoughtful, and really go like, okay, like this is where I want to position and take these next 90 days or 2027. That's the normal conversation that we have at this retreat. So I hope that this has opened your eyes to a possibility that would serve you either this year or in the future. If you do have a colleague or a individual that you network where she's at a place where she is Connie, everything you described is who this person is, feel free to send this YouTube video and hopefully she will watch that and hopefully it will hit a chord with her to go, yep, I am ready to level up, I'm ready to be more strategic and really know how I'm going to position myself differently in the marketplace, so that I can keep creating a great, wonderful, fruitful business and life, and continue to be of service at a very, very high level. All right, y'all, enjoy the rest of your week when you have watched this. And I look forward to connecting with you about the retreat, any additional coaching that I can be of service to, or any questions that you have, put them in the chat. I will see you all later. Bye.